John Marine, and John Marine Tube is my YouTube channel. Coming to you from Houston, Texas, United States of America, and celebrating 10 months on YouTube and over 125 plus subscribers. Thank you so much, and keep subscribing to my channel and keep loving my channel and my videos. For this video, I'm here to open the speculation gates again for Gran Turismo 5, featuring an element that has been considered fun for many Gran Turismo gamers, but never really any emphasis on this until Gran Turismo HD. And I'm talking about drifting. Now, for those of you who don't like drifting or don't care about drifting, you're excused from this video. Please see some of my other videos, or maybe just go to some other channel. Now, drifting is very fun to me. I'm not going to say that I'm a drifting fanatic, but I think drifting is pretty cool for what it is. I'm a person who likes all kinds of racing and all kinds of car competitions. But there are some people who are just against drifting, saying that it's not racing, or it's just for a bunch of high school kids with souped up compact cars, or that, all kinds of stereotypes. And then watching a shakedown segment on Fastlane Daily with Leo Parente, he compared Formula One to drifting, and at the end he said, "There's no racing." So what is drifting? I've defined drifting here on this whiteboard. I've defined drifting as motorsport which consists of intentionally sliding a car out in a set of corners in a stylish yet aggressive fashion. The thing about drifting is that it's judged, much like monster truck competition. Oh, by the way, people talk about drifting not being motorsport. Well, how many people call tractor pulling or monster truck racing as racing? I don't hear people complaining about Monster Jam. I don't hear people complaining about tractor pulling. But anyhow, drifting is all about aggressive racing. It's all about sliding a car. It's about controlled frenzy. The key elements of such a kind of motorsport include aggressiveness, attacking clipping points, and then staying as close as possible to your opposition. If you're not in there close against your opposition, you're not going to win your tandem battle. However, if you're off the pace, or if you spin out, it's going to be tough for you to come back. So these are things to look out for when talking about drifting. I'm going to share some perspective now as I try to turn over to another game that I've played before. Stay tuned, people. This game is D1GP for the PlayStation 2, released in 2006. What this game allows you to do is gives you the opportunity to race as your favorite D1GP drivers, competing on some of your favorite D1GP tracks. You can race as Reese Millen, rocking his Pontiac GTO in this game, and you can race around the tracks like Irwindale, Sukba, Bihoku, Ebisu, Odaiba, and tracks like that. This game also provides some nice insight towards drifting, including certain different tactics you need to learn. For example, there's kicking the clutch, in which you try to play around with the clutch a little bit, just try to get a better slide through the corner, a better slide through corners. It allows you the opportunity to make longer drifts, and it really makes things satisfying. And personally, I think this game is kind of like an overpriced budget title, but it's still a very fun game. It's still a very fun drifting game if you enjoy drifting. So by all means, go check this game out, or at least rent this game. And for the most part, I would rather take the drifting action in this game than do stuff like, for example, the canyon battles in Need for Speed Carbon. Now, coming up, I'm going to show you a little demonstration of drifting and how I think it should be implemented for Gran Turismo 5. When it comes to tsuiso battles, here's a demonstration. You have the starting point right here. You have the finish line over here. The goal of a drifting run is to try to make your way as close to the clipping points as possible without running over them, and while keeping a good pace and a good steady drift. So here now, pretend that this is a tandem battle going on. And by the way, this is no specific track, I just made this up. the first racer that goes out, the one that's leading, is going to try to attack this clipping point, while the second person that gives chase is going to try to keep up with that person as best as possible. And then they do it all the way around for the rest of this run. If the driver behind spins out, then their race is basically over. And if it's just the first person that does this, then they're going to have a huge advantage in the scoring department. Meaning that the person who was giving chase, who's now the leader, has to try to have a much better run than what the other person put up. And if it turns out that everything is too close, then one of my all-time favorite quotes is either sudden death or one more time. I remember watching a Formula Drift battle between Sam Hubernett and I think Taka Ano, in this AE86 going up against the Viper at Road Atlanta. And they had about 3 one more times. It was fun. But I think because of overheating, the Toyota had to give up, giving the win to my man Sam Hubernett. But can this catch on? Absolutely. Whether it's solo runs, whether it's tandem runs, drifting is the best showcase of controlled frenzy. Basically, if you think of drifting as rally racing or having rally racing elements, you might like it more. So that's something to think about in terms of drifting. How exactly do you try to implement a strategy? How exactly do you structure each drifting course? That's another thing that I forgot to mention. When it comes down to all the different tracks and different layouts, there has to be basically brief layouts. Something where you can actually just judge and then go all the way back to the original point to do another drifting run. So these are just a few things to consider when talking about drifting for Gran Turismo 5. But what ideas do you have? Send me some comments below, and be sure to subscribe, comment, and rate, but don't hate. John Marine, peace out. Love and peace. Take care, everyone.